but I think, you'll be excited enough about the future making the
I fully
playoffs.
agree.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next game. Now, this to me is going to be the hardest one to predict all season. Or excuse me, in this round, not all season. And that is going to be the Green Bay Packers traveling to the Chicago Bears at
High
8
time.
p.m. prime time on Saturday. And this is the third matchup between these division rivals this season. And none of these games so far have disappointed. And they all have had a major impact on both of these teams in the division.
What's really hard, Scotty,
Yeah,
and we've said this before, and it had been with the Eagles and the Giants. It's really hard to beat a team a third time.
it is. It is. Well, thankfully, neither of these teams swept each other. So
Well,
they,
yeah, but at the same time too, it's like the Bears both times
yeah,
by the skin of their teeth
right.
have
And
been in this situation.
And just to every single time you play a team, it gets harder to beat them for both teams, really. But, if you're the team that has swept them already, it's like you kind of have to go into it with the same game plan. You know what I mean? Because it worked, which means the ball's kind of in the other team's court to throw a curveball at you and catch you off guard and then maybe be the ones to pounce on first. And in both games, the Packers have taken the lead earlier
Exactly.
in the game, which I think is kind of what you're getting at in this one, and it certainly is like a complete mess trying to navigate how each of the first two games happened and trying to apply it to this matchup because early on the Packers had Micah, but the Bears scored 21 or 20 points in that one and were on the very last play about to tie it up and score 27. So they were producing on offense, and it took them some time to come back. That's the game that they were able to kind of run the ball a little bit in the second half and make their comeback. But they did lose, but it looked good for the Bears. It looked like this is going to be tough for the Packers to sweep them. And then in the next game, no Jordan Love, no Micah. And the Packers are winning with Malik Willis the whole time until the Bears start coming back and with the help of an onside kick are able to eventually win in overtime by a sick throw by Caleb to DJ Moore. But one has to wonder, without Jordan Love out there, it brings up the question repeatedly, how big of a fall off is Malik Willis, because he's not available this week. So they're going to have to start the third string, which is not going to work if Jordan Love cannot go. Which I believe he will be able to, but it makes you wonder. Jordan Love is really productive, and I know he's had injuries, and they have these ugly games sometimes. But I think some of the ugly losses don't look quite as bad. Like the Panthers are in the playoffs, and like the Browns, like we just know they do this. Like the Packers were a great team early on. Who they are now is kind of hard to read.
It's kind of hard to read on this one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really hard to read. But they've been the 7 seed like every single time. And you know what? They're the only 7 seed in NFL history currently to have won a playoff game when they beat the Cowboys. It hasn't happened since. So they could do it again here against the Chicago Bears team. And outside of, Jordan Love and the dynamic we explained, to me, I'm wondering from you, because we talked about this prior. You seem to have a lot more confidence in the Bears than I did. That they were, that they should be favored because the Packers are favored right now -1.5. So what is it about this Bears team? What's going on, this season, and what you're kind of, foreseeing for them in this game to have so much faith?
I think a lot of these guys on the Bears team so far, especially with these two Packers games, they put everything they could out there. But there's something about this third game that I feel like it being in Chicago, it being a playoff game. The last time I saw the Bears in the playoffs, it was a double doink. And I'm thinking to myself, right? If I'm Caleb Williams, I'm Ben Johnson, I'm thinking to myself, bro, I got to come out here and absolutely throw every play, front cover to back cover, top of the page, bottom of the page. I don't give a shit who watches it on film. We gotta freaking do something, and they're gonna do it. Yeah, they gotta do it, especially if against a mangled up Packers team with Jordan Love 0 touchdown Golden. Reed, Watson is like trying to figure himself out to come back. Like this defense is hurting all over. Like Keyshawn Nixon was getting absolutely like disrespected. Like it was just,
Yes.
it's a whole slew of shit. It's a whole slew of
It
shit.
is.
And I personally feel as if that this Bears team is so amped up, so poised and ready for this is their moment. Like I don't know what it is. Like if you are a script writer, like and you get this wrong, this is basically as fucked up as when Stranger Things didn't make the 9th episode. So this is what I'm getting at. Is that the Bears? This is literally the hype that I felt when the Lions were in the NFC Championship.
It all
And they
comes.
have a chance.
It all comes to here.
This moment.
Yeah. I kind of have a lot to say about what you're going on about. Cuz I saw a clip of Ben Johnson. I'm sure I think you might have too. Not only in the past few days, but it made me think back to when he got hired by the Bears, and what did he say? It feels great to beat the Packers. I would love to do that. You know, they got him the second time around, but here they are in the playoffs. And what did he say during one of his press conferences this week? He was talking about how this was his words, we are going all out for this one. Basically, he's not pulling any punches. He's saving nothing. And that makes me think if Ben Johnson has been able to save stuff and go 11-6. I understand the schedule and all that, but still the success they've had, the progression with Caleb. What does that mean for this game? Because that's typically the sort of thing I'd say about the Packers. They turn it up in the playoffs. Or the 49ers. Come on, we all know they're different, right, in the playoffs. So they turn it up.
What is Ben Johnson's
throttle? What is Ben Johnson's full throttle? I am so curious. Now, what do I kind of think is the key factor here? And that is that although the Packers defense has struggled in the 2 games versus the Bears, outside of kind of like the comeback in the first game by the Bears, they've done a pretty good job stopping the run against the Bears for the most part. Like, it obviously hasn't killed them. The Bears were playing from behind in both of those games. Now, if Ben Johnson's full throttle can break that, I kind of don't have confidence that the Packers can keep up. Because the Bears defense, inversely, because the Packers like to run the ball and they can still do that, the Bears defense is turnover dependent, you know? Like they got like Montez Sweat, and the Packers offensive line is now healthy, even though their defense is kind of banged up. The O-line's healthy. And if Love has like time, that makes me think this might look a little bit more like the first game. You know what I mean? So, because the second game was so hard to understand how the hell that was what ended up happening. Like how the Bears only had like a field goal like in the fourth quarter. To me, I'm like, Ben Johnson, what the hell's going on? I get you're not going full throttle, but maybe step on the gas a little bit, right? Like what's the situation here? Hey, he turned out to be right because they were able to pull it out in the end. But you kind of get what I mean. But this all is why, to me, it's the toughest game to pick this week. To me, it's got to be. You know, both of the first 2 games were so crazy. I don't have a strong preference either way. I do like this Bears team. Dan knows I was on this Packers team and I wanted success for them. It's not really their year with the injuries, so I'm more detached. And I'm like kind of okay, you know, no bias either way. I still think the Packers are actually going to win, because something that I haven't said yet, or well, I have said it sort of, but I haven't emphasized, is Matt LaFleur does have that full throttle. I think he's been stowing away, maybe even a little extra. They were pretty hot. They knew they were going to make the playoffs for like the past 5 weeks, you know, and it seems like they've been regressing. I think the same way I kind of look at the Bears and I'm like, I don't know if you were regressing as much as you were pulling some of your punches. But in that Lions like loss week 18, like they played their starters, and I'm like, I'm sure they pulled some punches, but like, you know, it just feels kind of weird that the Vikings were able to pull it off, right? But to me, it's just about, you know, the run game. I think is going to work well enough for both sides, but ultimately, I think just like the coaching from Matt LaFleur is going to be able to have like that consistent offense through the air and through the ground against the Bears defense. But if they get one of those turnovers, it's probably over. My score prediction is going to be 26-24 Packers. Just a weird score to reflect what is going to be most likely a very weird game. So Dan, quickly, what do you think is going to be the outcome of this game?
I was thinking, I'm not even gonna lie to you, it's gonna go crazy. I think I'm expecting a high scoring game. I'm expecting it to be similar to the first game, where they're striving for a touchdown, and I'm looking at 30-24 Bears. Where
Okay.
this game-winning drive from the Packers, they're gonna try to go for it, and I'm not gonna lie, I'll call this right here. It's gonna get intercepted by Johnson.
Okay.
Run it out of bounds, and then they're gonna start celebrating. And Scotty, I'll tell you right now, if I call that ish, yo, we're coming live on that
Okay.
day.
We'll go live. We'll go live if that happens. I love the painting the picture of how it's going to happen to like turning the tables on the Packers compared to that first game. So,
And it sucks because the scriptwriters messed up. Jair Alexander going to the Eagles, they could have got a pick like an interception on Jordan Love. That would have been kind of crazy. But the scriptwriters that would have looked too obvious. I can't lie to you.
yeah, who knows why he's gone. He said it was for mental health, I believe, but that was pretty bizarre, wasn't it?
It was.